Hello folks, welcome to another Kent Models video where I try to explain a few things. This time we're going to talk about paint booth, which we use for obviously painting our model kits, and also a couple of new items that are to do with painting more generally. So if you're interested in upping your game and learning a little bit more about a paint booth, maybe some discussions about painting and how to make it much easier on yourself and get a better finish, then this is the video. So stick around and watch. So as before, I'll try just to go through as quick as I can these different products. But to start with paint booth. So paint booth is pretty straightforward. It's a bit of kit which is kind of the size of a really big briefcase. It's got a fan inside. There's a filter inside, which is this blue mesh. And also you put your model in here, you spray, the fan suck in the air, and it pulls all of the paint particles through, and obviously they all end up in the filter, and then all the air comes back out of the back of the box. So this is good if you're doing this, I don't know, in your man cave or I don't know, in your kitchen or something, I don't know. And you just want to contain the mess and also cut down on all of the fumes and all of the extra paint that you're creating. So to start with, it comes flat packed and you can assemble it as you need. It's all plastic, so it's easy to clean, and it all folds down, and it's see-through, and exactly as it appears is what it is. In the kit you also get a turntable which has got a rubber mat on it for making it nice and secure, and you can put whatever you want on the turntable, and obviously you can turn it around. You can put this wherever you want, obviously in the kit, and of course you can clean it afterwards and so on. So it works, as I said earlier, it's got a motor inside, so it needs power, so you need to plug it in the mains. There's an on-off switch on the top, pretty straightforward. I haven't got it plugged in to be able to demonstrate the noise of it, but obviously it's electrical fan spinning, but it's not a huge, massive, noisy, beast of a machine, but clearly it's not silent. But it's when you weigh up controlling the mess and the fumes and everything else versus a bit of noise, well, it's all good. So that's the kit. You'll find it on our website for sale. We sell obviously the box. There's also an extractor, hose, and a few other bits and pieces of accessories that are out of stock at the minute, but later on we'll stock those. But for now you don't need those anyway. So to talk about how best to use this and why maybe you'd need to think about getting one of these. Firstly, I can bring in one of the new products that we've got in recently from Mr. Hobby, which is the paint station. You'll find this on our website, and essentially this is a kit of 4. I've taken 2 out, as you can see, and what it is one I made earlier. It's a section of cardboard, corrugated cardboard, which you use to hold things and paint them on. So as you can see here, what I've got is I've got a sprue of what is that? Some over fenders. And I've got some clips, and they're just simply placed inside this. So when you're painting, obviously you can get paint on this, no problem at all. So you clip, I'll talk about these clips again in a second. Put your clips in, put it on your turntable, and obviously now you've got complete 360-degree capability of being able to paint this. Now you can, if you wanted to, you can pick it up, you can paint underneath. So you've now got this third hand. It's a very easy way of being able to paint whatever you want without it getting messy. And of course, as you're spraying, all of the excess paint is going that way and into the filter. So all these walls and things there, obviously they're designed to be able to capture all of that and funnel it all straight through the filter. So if we, for example, said that we painted that and we're happy with that, of course, ordinarily you'd end up making a mess all over your dining room table or in your shed or something. So what we can do now is we finish with that. It's already painted. I'll move it out of the way, and now I'll think about painting my body. Car body, that is. So again, you'll see I've already made a little rig here. I've crudely made it and just attached it to the body just to demonstrate just how useful this is, and also the turntable. So for example, if I was to visualise painting this thing, I'm not going to spray, but if I was, you can see I could be painting and I could be spinning this around. I can get up underneath, I could see all of the different areas. If I wanted to, I could have an extra lamp to see, to see the paint finish. And now I've got complete visibility of the car, the body, the biggest part we're going to have, I guess, and all the space around it to be able to paint in. And obviously if we wanted to get real heavy with paint, I could move it a bit further in to make sure it's not going everywhere else. So this is an awesome game changer in terms of having the flexibility of being able to see just how good your paint finish is, and to also get all of the different angles that you need from your paint, whether it be an airbrush or the spray can, to be able to make sure that everything's painted. Because there's nothing more frustrating than getting a real nice finish, and then once it's dried and you left it to dry, you turn the model around and you suddenly realise there's a whole section underneath that you haven't painted that needs to be painted, and then you find yourself touching it in with a brush, and it's just a nightmare. So this completely gets rid of that and eradicates that problem. So the parts that are holding this car body up at the moment is a new product that we've got in stock more recently from Mr. Hobby, which is called the Mr. Almighty clips, the double-ended clips. So not to be confused with the complete rig that we also sell. So in the pack you get a pack of 24 of these double-ended clips. So they've got a metal clip on each end, and they've got a wooden stick between them. Now you can obviously use them in their entirety as I've done here, but maybe if you thought that was too high, for example, you could change it. So like what I did with the sprue, I just got one, snapped it in half, and now I can stick it in. So even if I wanted to, look, I don't need to use another base station. I could clip it on and I could do something like that, for example. So these are really good, and obviously they're steel on the end, so they're designed to get painted. If you wanted to mask them up to try to preserve them, then if you've got OCD about that sort of stuff, then great, crack on. But generally it's okay to obviously have them painted. So the combination of having a pack of these paint stations and a double-ended clip, there's so much you can do with those, and of course it gives you the flexibility, because you've got 4 of them in the packet, that you could be painting different colours at different times and leaving them to dry on your paint station. So that is a complete game changer. So I very much recommend that. So moving on from there, there's some other things that we've got that are kind of paint related that I just wanted to talk about for a moment. So one of them is Mr. Ball. So this is a pack of stainless steel balls. Very simple, there's nothing high tech about them at all, but just the same as you'd get in a spray can or any other kind of can where you want to keep the paint mixed. You can put these in your 10mm Mr. Hobby jars or your Tamiya jars, whatever you've got, and you can use them to periodically shake the paints and keep them mixed. Or of course, a lot with the aqueous paints, the water-based paints, you need to shake them before you use them anyway to make sure that everything's mixed correctly. So by dropping a couple of balls in each of your jars, you can make sure that it's definitely mixed correctly. So again, such a simple thing, not high-tech at all, but in terms of getting the paint consistency right and the colours right, it's very much worthwhile using those. Moving on again on the same subject of sprays and extra bits and pieces, there's 2 other items that we can talk about. Firstly, masking. So we sell this 3mm wide masking tape. Obviously you can get real creative with your paint jobs. So if you wanted to do pinstriping, or maybe you wanted to make your car half and half, or some sort of stripe down the side of it, the only way you're going to do that is using masking tape. Now, masking tape for model making is completely different from normal masking tape that you're going to get from a car shop like Halfords or something like that. It's very fine, and it's used to mask the areas that you want to mask, of course, but also it's designed to work with the real fine grade of paints that model making is all about. So the grades of paints, which I discussed in another video, they're very different from what you'd find in a normal car shop. They're much finer. So equally, you'd need to use masking tape that's also very fine on the edges, otherwise you're going to get bleed. So we sell a 3mm reel of masking tape. You'll find it in our shop. And also something else which is very useful, I'm not going to get it out of the bag because we don't really have that many of them in stock at the moment, but is this. This is masking tape that's got plastic sheeting attached to it already. So you can see where the masking tape is. And this is 150mm wide, and it's 10 metres long, so this is going to last you forever. So if you're intended on masking up bodies of cars, or maybe trucks or boats or wherever it's going to be, and you need a good length of sheet masking, then this is what you're going to need. So obviously you could use, as we do each of our kits, we send out this backing paper that I've put on the table here. You can use that, of course, and use some tape and mask things up, but as usual, to make your life easier, buy the stuff for the job, and you're going to make the overall finish of your model much more pleasing. It's going to be a more pleasurable experience of actually making the kit in the first place, because you've got all of the right tools and equipment to be able to do a decent job. Now, that is in a peanut how to use and what this is all about. Now, there's obviously, as usual, there's more advanced equipment you can get, there's bigger booths you can get and all these kind of things, but in terms of making the odd model here and there, and maybe just starting out, this whole arrangement and these tools that I've been talking about, this is where it's at. This is where you should be starting and where you should be aiming to progress your hobby and to turn it into something that's much more enjoyable by having the right tools and equipment. So we understand that not everybody wants to buy everything all in one go, and sometimes we see that happening. People will buy just one kit and then they bought every single thing in our shop to make it, which is fine, of course. But for those that haven't done that and they bought a kit and maybe just a bit of glue and some nippers or whatever else, the advice that we're constantly giving to people is that as you buy your next kit, maybe think about the extra tools and the extra bits of equipment that is worth adding to that order to be able to make your life a little bit easier based on the experience of the problems you had with the last model that you made, whether it be how to hold it, how to paint it properly, how to mask it up, or any of these things. But anyways, I hope that you find this little video enjoyable, and at least it explains a little bit more in the flesh as to what this paint booth is all about and just how useful it can be. And thank you for watching, and thank you for being an awesome customer. Thank you.